listening to The Announcer's Table with Daryl and Ian. This podcast is presented by RingIcon.com, the social networking site for wrestlers, fans, promoters, and everything indie wrestling. Log on today and create your profile, and as always, enjoy the show.
Hey guys, this is Ian.
And I'm Daryl.
And this is the Announcer's Table presented by RingIcon.com. And today is Wednesday, so that means it's interview day.
Yep, interview Wednesday. And I'm excited about this one. I've been trying to get this person on for a couple of months now. Our schedules don't always meet up on when we can do it. So the planets have finally aligned.
Yes.
We'll be able to get it. I've been talking to you all week about this person. I'm going to go ahead and bring up his playlist and get it going so y'all can just see, how awesome his stuff is. His name is Kyle Matthews, and I'm super stoked about this. Kyle Matthews, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's going great, dude. Appreciate you being able to be on here. I know we've been talking on Facebook quite a bit, chatting it up, trying to meet up. So I got your match right now, your dark match from Impact. Is what people's watching behind us right now on the Ring Icon Tron. We got to come up with a better name for that.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and we really just want to get to know you a little better and let the fans get to know you. So, how long have you been in the wrestling business?
10 years. I started December 7th, 2002 was my first match at the big age of 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about who trained you?
I originally started training in Rome, Georgia, under a guy named Russell Wiggins. His wrestling name was Sharp Dressed Man. They no longer run in that building, but that's where I started, and I got to work there every Saturday for probably about 3 years, and then I started kind of traveling, getting my name out, and started hanging out with Chippy Rave a little bit, and so he helped me out quite a bit. And then the person that's probably helped me the most is Ted Allen, who unfortunately passed away. But I spent probably the last 3 years of his life with him, traveling everywhere. So he probably helped me out the most.
Yeah, and if people know the Nightmare Ted, that's the tattoo that's on your arm, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we actually had CC Devlin on not too long ago, and it was weird. If you watch that interview, we start to talk about Ted Allen, and the power went out. It was crazy. So CC said his name, and not even 2 seconds later, the power went black, and it came back on. And Ian and I are looking around with this bewildered look, what just happened?
That's awesome.
Well, that is great, man. How many shows are you doing right now? I know Ian and I, every time we go somewhere, it's like we see you in every show we go to.
I do lots of shows, at least 2 a weekend usually, but all over the country. So, yeah, pretty blessed to be able to do that. So, pretty awesome.
Well, one thing we've talked about in the past is, how there's a little bit of a difference between Northern wrestling and Southern wrestling. Do you ever notice a difference, or do you ever feel there's a difference between the Northern stuff and what we do down here?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think there's a big difference. Just in the type of fans there are, let's say the Northern style of wrestling is more, I call them hardcore fans. They want action all the time, and down here it's kind of more laid back. Definitely more of the old school type of mentality. So there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, that's pretty much what because we've never been to a Northern show, but from what we've seen, we
always ask people that and kind of get what their take is. Ian and I was talking earlier just about some wrestlers that we come across are just so humble and everything. We were talking about CC Devlin falls in that category. He's a very humble person, and we was also talking about how you fall in that category. Every time we've talked to you about wrestling and everything that's going on, you've always been very humble and just. And that's amazing that you see that
right
in wrestling nowadays. It's just people with that humility.
Well, yeah, it could be taken away at any point. You could break your neck or whatever, and even there's so many people, there's so many pro wrestlers, and just the fact that I get to wrestle all over the country is crazy. Like, if you'd have told 15-year-old me that I would be wrestling in, like, California, I never would have believed it. So the fact that I'm one of the few people that get to do that is pretty awesome. So
yeah, and wrestling, I mean, some pretty big names. I mean, you're doing really good for yourself, you know, especially at your age. You know, I mean, you've got to work with guys like Colt Cabana and
Davey Richards,
and I mean,
you're wrestling dark matches on Impact. I mean, that's exciting stuff. I mean, I really like Ring of Honor, so I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah, that's, you know, you kind of have to. There's very few companies that give contracts anymore. Obviously, I guess Dragon Gate and Ring of Honor are the two smaller of the ones that do that. So obviously, that's the goal to get to those places and to work there all the time. So.
Well, you keep going the direction you're going, and I'm sure you'll end up somewhere around there.
Yeah, because Ian and I, we talk about we both truly love watching you wrestle. Every show we go to, and you're on the card. I know we get excited, and we're like, all right, but we know of all the people that's on that card, we know we're going to have at least one good match. So,
right.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's my goal. Like, no matter who I'm wrestling, whatever style they have or whatever, just to be able to adapt to their style and have a good match with everybody. That's my goal. So I appreciate that.
All right, well, we actually have your match coming up now on our screen, where you wrestled Davey Richards from Ring of Honor. So that's I'm pretty excited about that. And I was watching that earlier. Now, this part, we want to go into our 10 questions that Ian doesn't have pulled up right now. But we're working on pulling them up because for some strange reason we still don't have them memorized, even though we do this every week.
Well, we know the first one is, you know, do you have a favorite gimmick match that you...
Oh, man. The favorite one I've ever seen was, I guess, War Games. I was a big WCW fan growing up, so I guess that's my favorite gimmick match.
Yeah, I loved War Games.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
I mean, honestly, anything that they add an extra ring into, because I loved World War III.
Yes,
you know?
that's what I was going to say. That was so awesome, because they had the...
One of my favorite one is Dangerous Alliance versus Sting Squadron. I think it was 92. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Man, I just remember all the matches. Like, I'm a good bit older than Ian, so I remember a lot of the stuff back in the day. Like, one of my favorite gimmick matches of all time was the scaffolding match with the Road Warriors versus Midnight Express.
Yeah.
That's the one where Jim Cornette like fell off the scaffolding and like broke both his knees or something. It was sick. Just some of the stuff they did back then was just like.
You remember they did it later on in WCW, but maybe like 88ish. They did a triple cage, like with the 3 cages stacked on top of each other, and you had to.
Yeah, that's one of Ian's favorite matches.
Yeah, that's one of my, because I think they originated. I don't know if they originated that, but it was in Ready to Rumble, the movie with David Arquette.
Yeah, that's one of Ian's favorite movies too, which is weird.
Hey, I love any movie that has to do with wrestling, but you know.
And the 88 one, the one in 88, it looked so unsafe. Like the cage was like.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that one too.
Yeah, I'm like, that's craziness. Why would you agree to do that?
Right?
Yeah.
Now, all right, who is your favorite? I can't even see those because I'm half blind. So I'm just going to kind of go off the ones I remember.
Who would you wrestle?
Who would you wrestle if living or dead? Who would you want to wrestle?
I think it would be Arn Anderson. Would be my answer for that.
Oh, dude. You're the first person to say Arn Anderson. That's awesome.
Yeah, just because good matches with everybody. So I think that would be my answer for that one.
Yeah, and both of you are really technical, and you're really good mat wrestlers. So I mean, I would imagine that would be a phenomenal match. So, if you could pick out a favorite wrestler, who would that be?
Bryan Danielson, by far. I got to wrestle him when he had his release, when he got released in 2010, and it was my favorite match ever. So definitely Bryan.
Oh wow! You just answered 2 questions.
Yeah, because our next match,
one of our next questions was going to be, what's your favorite match or moment in wrestling?
Yeah, definitely Bryan Danielson. But wrestling in Japan is definitely up there at Corrigan Hall, and wrestling at the dark match at Impact, where they're all right up there together.
Well, not to get off subject, I guess, but I didn't know that you made it to Japan. You know, how did that go? I haven't really had a chance to talk to anybody that's actually been over there. So
yeah, it was awesome. I did 10 shows in 23 days, and every other day we trained at the dojo, which the training was brutal, but it was totally worth it when you got to wrestle. So, but it was amazing. I was in another country wrestling. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let's just throw the script out and let's just because I'm excited. I want to know more about this Japan stuff. How is the audience in Japan different from the audience in the States?
We've seen it in videos, but
Yeah, they're really quiet until they see something that they appreciate, and then they'll give you the golf clap, like, oh, that was cool. It's definitely more here. People like to yell and scream and things like that and chant. Not there. It's more of a they watch it as a sport, kind of. Like when you go to a baseball game and everyone's just kind of doing whatever until someone makes an out or whatever. That's kind of what it's like. It's more like a sporting event than yell and scream.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, how did you get set up to go to Japan? That's kind of always intrigued me how that gets brought up.
Yeah, on Facebook, the guy that runs 01, his name is Mr. Nakamura, and Jimmy Ray had told me about him, so I had sent him a few messages on Facebook, and then they had a thing for this. They're doing a camp for the 23 days, and they're going to pick 6 guys to come over. So I sent my information in. And Sanjay Dutt was over there doing a juniors cut for 01. So I sent my information to Nakamura, and I think maybe Jimmy told Sanjay, and then Sanjay recommended me to Nakamura. So that's kind of how it happened.
Wow. That is awesome, dude.
Yeah, wrestling, a lot of it is, about who you know, and that's that's amazing that, it brought you all the way from Georgia to Japan, So
yeah, that's what I mean, like, you told 15-year-old me, I'm going to be wrestling in Japan, and so it's craziness.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how did you get the dart match on Impact?
That was, we do a show every 2 weeks on Sundays in Warner Robins called Rampage Pro Wrestling, and Bill Behrens, who kind of did some stuff in the early days of TNA, he struck a deal with him for Rampage airs in the Macon market, so they put some commercials on the Rampage TV show, and then in exchange we had a dark match on the taping that was in Macon. So I got chosen for that, and that's kind of how that happened.
Oh wow, yeah. That's pretty awesome, man. You got a pretty good career so far just for 10 years in the business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's crazy. It's we get to wrestle awesome people and learn from awesome people, and very lucky.
Well, we've talked a lot about your great moments and things like that. Have you ever had any embarrassing moments with wrestling that you wish you could take back?
I was thinking about this when you guys sent me the questions. There was one time in Rome. I was probably 16 or 17, and we were having a ladder match. And for some reason, we had this brilliant idea that if we set a ladder on the floor, and the other person would be climbing the ladder in the ring, I would jump from the ladder on the floor and drop kick the guy in the ring. Terrible decision, because when you jump off a ladder, they tend to slide.
Yes.
So when I jumped, I didn't even make it to the ring. I just hit the ropes and then just fell to the floor.
Yeah, that sounds painful and embarrassing.
Yeah, it was the dumbest. I was more embarrassed. It didn't hurt me at all. I was just more embarrassed than anything. I wanted to lay there and crawl into the ring and never get out again.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully you did get out, because now we got some really great Kyle Matthew moments that we get to see.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite champion of all time?
Oh wow.
And they don't have to be the heavyweight champion. It can be any champion anywhere.
Maybe Dean Malenko. Does that count?
Yeah, absolutely.
Champion, cruiserweight champion.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, we'll go with Dean Malenko. Just because he was a smaller dude.
Yeah.
Back champion. He was smaller guys didn't really get that much of a chance, I guess. So he kind of broke the mold a little bit, along with Eddie and Ray and all those guys that were awesome in that era.
Which kind of goes into the next one is, do you have a favorite tag team or stable?
Oh, Brainbusters.
Oh, Brainbusters.
Oh, yes.
See, from your other comments, I was kind of thinking maybe he's going to say Four Horsemen.
Everybody says Four Horsemen.
Everybody says Four Horsemen, but then we ask him, which version of the Four Horsemen. But with Arn Anderson and Dean Malenko, you know what I mean? I have a feeling I know where that would be going.
Yeah.
But,
what's one of the other questions? I can't even see those.
Over underrated.
Yeah, who, in your opinion, who is the most overrated and also the most underrated wrestler in your opinion?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Overrated. This one's going to be a very random reference. Austin Idol. You guys know about Austin Idol?
Yes, I do.
Like, he was like a big deal. I never understood. Just never got it. I don't know. Just didn't get it. I mean, of course, I never saw him live, but of all the tapes I've watched, I never got it. He was a great speaker, I guess, and that's why I got over. But yeah, that's that one. And underrated. Wow. Maybe Eddie Edwards. I feel like maybe he doesn't get enough respect around. He works hard all the time, and he always has really good matches. So maybe Eddie Edwards.
Okay.
All right. Well, do you have a favorite finishing move or a favorite wrestling move in general?
I can never do it because I'm not athletic enough. But the first time I ever saw Too Cold Scorpio do the 450, like, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea that was even possible. So
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. He looks small in WCW, but that is a big dude.
Yeah, because he weighs almost 300, and he was doing that.
Yeah, back when I was wrestling, I mean, I was a bit thinner than I am now. I was a little more athletic, and I never attempted it on a person, but I would always try it in practice, and I could always get over to my feet, but I could never get over all the way down to, I never got comfortable enough doing it on a human being.
Yeah, like,
so,
I just remember the first time I saw Scorpio do it, I was just like, I just kept rewinding the tape, like,
yeah.
That's crazy. It's like, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever wrestle at TWA?
I did one time.
Yeah, well, last week we were at...
we was at their final show last week, and
right.
I got to see... I don't know if you've wrestled Mikey Watkins at other shows, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like, he did some stuff last week that we saw was just, like, Ian and I was talking about, we're like, wow, that was just like some amazing stuff he pulled off. But he has that athletic build and frame that he can spin and twist like that. It was just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen Ricochet? He does some insane, like, flippy things that are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that type of wrestling is really, amazing. And, but back to you is that, you said you didn't have the athletic frame, and I thought that was a major understatement.
Yeah, we're watching. You're good. I mean, we love watching your matches.
So.
That's the thing with wrestling, I think, is you gotta have a little bit for everybody. There's people that want to see the crazy flips. There's people that want to see people get hit in the head with chairs, and there's people that want to see technical wrestling. There's people that want to see comedy. You gotta have a good variety of everything.
Yeah,
so.
I think if I had to pick like one style I was going to watch all the time, it'd probably be technical. I mean, the flying stuff is flashy. I like seeing the high spots with it. But I don't want to watch a whole match with it. I want to see just good technical wrestling more so than want to see anything else. Now, if you had to pick a favorite catchphrase of all time, and it doesn't have to be a pro wrestling catchphrase, just any catchphrase you know of, what would you say?
Oh wow. I don't know. I guess the one that made the most money was Austin 316 said that just whooped your ass. So I guess we'll go with that one. It made the most money in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
That is, he's good. They're talking about him possibly coming back for WrestleMania 30. So we'll.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, either way, that'd be pretty huge if he does come back for that one.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything coming up in the future or in the near future that you want to talk about?
I know there's a big convention coming up in November at the Rome Forum that I'm going to be at. I think it's called Superstars of Wrestling, and also I'll be going back out to California for Wrestling Cares. It's WrestlingCares.com, I think, for Les Thatcher. So I'll be going back out there in mid-October, And the rest of the time, I think I'm pretty local. So on my Facebook and stuff, you can see where I'm going to be. I always post where I'm going to be. So
we'll tag all this information in your video because we definitely want people to come check you out, to come see you.
And to follow your career.
Yeah, and to follow your career.
Got a positive aspect to it. So.
Ian and I are actually we're going to try our best to be at the Superstars of Wrestling thing in Rome. We're actually looking to probably get a booth up there, so we're hoping that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. There's a lot of awesome dudes on there. I'm a big Mass Superstar Demolition Axe fan. He's like the nicest dude ever. So I'll probably be bugging him all day.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. So, and then Gunner is awesome. I've known him a long time. And, there's lots of awesome dudes on it. So, I'm excited about it. Out all day.
Well, I'm excited. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. And I just want to thank you so much for being on the show and taking time to be on the show. I know we've had a lot of missed moments where we couldn't connect on our schedule, and I'm so glad we finally did. But so thank you very much, Kyle Matthews, for being a part of this. And we'll have your interview up. I can't wait. I know people are going to be excited to see this.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you guys having me on, and hope to see you in Rome or see you around sometime soon. I'm sure will.
Oh, absolutely. All right, thanks for your time, sir.
All right, see ya.
Well, that was Kyle Matthews.
Yeah,
and
a little unorthodox. We forgot to print out the questions, and I can't see that far. But that small. But I mean, this is Kyle Russell right there. Just went for the roll up. Just kicked him right there. Or I'm pointing at my computer. It's over here. But I'm excited. We've been trying for a couple of months to get him on. He was like in our top 5 of first interviews that we wanted, and so I'm excited. We finally got him. Our schedules finally connected. Let us know what you think. I'm telling you, this is a kid to see.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. We always have fun when we go. When he's on the card, like I told Kyle, we always know we're at least going to have one good match, regardless of who he's wrestling. He's very humble. If you meet him in person, he's a very humble person. He doesn't have that superstar attitude of like, you know what, I'm Kyle Matthews, I've done all this and that. Oh, man, you know what we forgot to talk to him about? He's the champion of the
AIWF.
Yeah, he's the AIWF champion. If y'all don't know what the AIWF is, it's kind of
it's the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
So basically, they are a collection of I don't know. They have maybe 100 independent wrestling promotions across the U.S. and they help promote them. They have champions. They have people that travel for them. And so, I mean, if you are a promoter and watching this, you know, maybe it's an option for you that you could get more publicity and maybe you could talk to them about working with them. So you can check that out at AIWF.net. So,
yes.
And you'll be able to see Kyle Matthews as the champion with them, and you'll see videos from all their different promotions.
Go to YouTube, type in Kyle Matthews Wrestling. It just the list goes on of just the people that he's wrestled and just some names that he's wrestled, and you're like, wow. Because as I was going through the list, you know, making this playlist for the interview, I was like, holy cow, I didn't realize he wrestled this guy. Oh, I didn't know he wrestled. I didn't know. I mean, I was pretty stoked about that.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
I mean, but I'm excited. I know we've seen him at several different independent shows that we've visited. He seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, if you live in the North Georgia area, I think he frequents the most at DSCW, which we've talked about. And the promoter there is Big Wood,
which we're actually going to have him on in the next couple of weeks.
So if you get a chance, you can go to Blue Ridge, Georgia, which is where DSCW does a show every Saturday night, I believe. So and we've talked about their website before. So you know, if you have the chance, go check them out there. So. But that's basically it. I mean, we're very appreciative for Kyle Matthews to take the time to talk with us and, you know, share some of his knowledge because, I mean, I learned some stuff because I didn't know much about the Japan stuff and things like that. So, I mean, hopefully you got something out of it. And so it was great to talk with him. So,
yeah, I mean, I know I'm excited. Yeah. So, y'all check it out. And we will see you. tomorrow we have coming out where we talk about TWA, how we referenced it in his interview.
Right.
End of an era show. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow on tomorrow's show. So there's some good stuff in there. Check it out. And other than that, we'll see y'all later.
See ya.